there's not really any place in this room anymore to create videos. But I can't really create videos out there when my mom's here, you know. And it was important for me to at least tell you guys this. We were both wrong, completely wrong, but also right about the shower contraption, the gaps. My plumber explained it all, but actually the church woman had already told me that. Those 4-piece contraptions have to have a gap, but the gap on the back wall that's even more than that shouldn't be like that. The one on the front is reasonable, the one on the back isn't. And then my plumber is like, well, I think it's the design of your house, Laura, that they didn't put it together. And then we have arrogant, pushy, but so good to me, my mom church woman saying, no, that's not true. I tried to tell her what the plumber was saying. She wasn't buying it because she talked to Lowe's, and they said, no, that can't be. They're supposed to snap them together before putting them up on the wall. You know, you snap you're supposed to snap it in to the other back piece before putting it on the wall. So they just were lazy and didn't snap it together. And after her, it's a no-brainer. To my plumber, he insists, even when I told him what she had said, he said, Laura, I know what you're saying, I hear you, but he looked at the structure. He's like, you're going to have a gap somewhere. They finagled it because of the way your house is designed. Again, I go back to the same thing. If it were me, I would never choose that. I would choose a tub with tile or at the very least, custom-made panels that would have a much tighter fit. So my plumber said the worst sin of my contractor, seriously, who I liked so much up front, is lack of communication. You mean she didn't tell you what kind of tub she was getting you in place of what was built here, which was the all one-piece thing? And I'm like, no. And he's like, that was her, but I can't believe there's lack of communication. That was the worst thing. He's like, that was the biggest problem here, Laura, lack of communication. Remember, we had lack of communication about the grab bar in the end that caused me so much pain, and I thought she'd done it on purpose. And to her, it's like, do you think I would do your whole house and then not put the grab? How do I know? I don't even know if you can put a grab bar in this new thing you installed. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not in, you know what I mean? The church woman talked to Lowe's, and Lowe's totally went against what Sterling experts say. You don't have to worry about those gaps at all, that water will not get behind and damage your walls. While that may be true to a point, but Sterling experts also tell people, like I shared with Kurt, where someone said, there's a gap about 1/8 of an inch. Are you sure there's no caulking needed? And I have what the Sterling expert wrote to her, to other people, gaps of 1/8 inch or less are perfectly fine and no caulk is needed. Yeah, you're full of shit. Even if technically water won't get behind the walls, and Lowe's says that's bullshit. And I said, well, he's selling products where the Sterling expert goes on his the website of his company where he works and says just the opposite to people. Don't worry about it. Law of nature says grime and stuff's going to fill in the gaps. That's inevitable. You can't stop that. But Lowe's also said that Churchwoman was right in that even though it's designed, because my plumber showed me how it's designed, that if you pour water on the top, it travels down and goes back into the tub and it's not getting to the walls behind. Those guys said that's not true, that eventually it will hit the wood behind there or something that's there. So I don't know how the thing is built. I don't know that there's not a whole panel behind it. Is it directly into the wall, directly into the studs? It's so fucking frustrating, especially the discrepancy between what someone who works at Lowe's, but then again, the person who said that to her that sells them, that works at Lowe's, doesn't install them. And my contractor, my plumber's been around a long time, and he said, I don't care. He didn't use those words because he's really nice. I don't care what your friend said, Laura. I looked at the structure of the way your bathroom is designed in this house and whatever. It's not even, and they couldn't put those together without that bigger gap. But I still don't think that's fair. And he agreed with me. He's like, it's not fair, Laura, that nobody communicated with you, told you what kind of contraption that you'd never heard of in your life they were going to replace with your all-one piece that was built into the home when the home was built. So of course you're going to freak out. And then I had Kurt and church women backing me up. No, gaps are not acceptable. Well, yes, they are in this contraption, Kurt. They are, believe it or not. It's designed to repel water, but it doesn't repel grime and slime and everything that would get in between. I mean, it's sickening. That gap is significantly thick. I mean, it's not fair. It's just not fair. It's not fair. Not fair. Lack of communication. You don't just not. My plumber was like, how could she not tell you? Your contractor did not tell you what kind of tub shower thing they were using to replace that. They would have avoided all of this. And he was pissed off on my behalf about this closet thing. He's like, that thing can fall on. I said, they replaced my runners with this piece of shit contraptions. I mean, and put down flat. They can't do that. They have no right. And yeah, Kurt, you're right. We do have recourse, including there's an escalation form you can fill out with Home Advisor, and it would get this contractor banned from if I file a legitimate complaint, which I do have a legitimate complaint. I even have pictures that prove that these contraptions were not here before. Okay. He couldn't even get this door open. He's like, that could fall on you. I'm like, it's bullshit. You're not responsible, and he agreed. They're not responsible to fix the top, but pull my runners back, finagle the doors as best you can on the runners. Your little contraption's not working any better, and let me hire someone in the future to fix the doors like I thought you were going to do on the insurance's dime. Just like if you had damage to the rug, if the stupid tile wasn't underneath, so you say, that didn't cause the bottom padding not to get damaged, even though water was shooting everywhere, which I just cannot believe. But she showed me, she said, no, it wasn't damaged at all. There was tile there, and they don't even know why it was there. So when someone built ours, it doesn't make sense. And of course the tile's not back there now. But you know, that protected the rug and prevented me from getting a brand new rug. You know, I would have got a brand new fucking rug, which would have been awesome. You know. But in any case, the insurance company is responsible for that. You get it? If the contractor has to dig stuff up, it has to be replaced to the best. You know what I mean? You don't take my runners away and replace them with shitty shit. You told me you would fix my closet doors. I never imagined that you'd put these stupid contraptions there. You didn't fix my closet doors, and you could have got away with fixing them on the insurance's dime, because it's not my fault you had to dig them out and take them apart, you know? You said you had to remove the runners and the closet doors and all the crap. It's not my fault. They need to be put back. So, my plumber talked to me about everything, answered all my questions. He's like, those kind of 4-piece things are going to have gaps, Laura, but I've never seen one as big as on your back wall, and I know why they have it like that. They had no choice because the way your wall's designed. It's just not fair. It is not fair. It just isn't fair, you know? It's not. If you have to have that huge gap like that, then you should have been justified in getting me custom-made panels, which of course custom-made panels take weeks to get, you know. So it's like, it's just not right. But Lowe's said went totally against Sterling experts. Sterling experts are pissing me off too, and I got my questions answered about that, but I don't know what anyone said, you know. That it does need to be sealed. It does need to be sealed, and eventually water will get behind there, no matter how that thing's designed to supposedly. Some guy wrote about that, but I know he's talking about that if you pour water down the lip. He said he tried that and it didn't go down the bottom of the tub. It went to the back, and it's bullshit. You know, Sterling experts can say whatever the fuck they want. I'm not the only one questioning this shit, including about grime and mildew building up in between those gaps. And the worse the gap is, the back wall gap is significant. It's not fair that my mom and I were not told up front that our all-one-piece thing that was built into the house was replaced by this 4-piece contraption. And the thing is, I said, but you can get 2-piece contraptions, can't you, plumber? You know, my friend, you know, like friend plumber, like he's been with us for a very long time, even before I was here in 12, and, you know, and he's like, yeah, Laura, but I don't know if they can get through your house, through the door and around the corner and whatnot. That's the problem. But there were 3-piece ones too, instead of 4 pieces. The less pieces you have, the less gaps there are, you know. I just don't like those gaps, and the one in the back is significant. It is. And I would feel much better if she took all that apart and proved to me that it can't have a lesser of a gap. And Churchwoman says, yeah, they need to do that. She thinks it's going to be a no-brainer. She listens to Lowe's, who's not here looking at it like my plumber is, who knows this kind of shit. She's like, no, you're not listening to me, Laura. You're not listening to me. It has nothing to do with that. This was to snap them together and just put them in. The gap should not be any bigger than the one on your other side, supposedly. But, you know, it's like, oh, God, it's so frustrating. And then on top of everything else, my plumber was examining everything, answering all my questions. And he discovered that the sink drain is leaking down into our brand new vanity. I'm like, what the fuck? And he says, in his world anyway, it would be a professional plumber who would put in those drains and whatnot. How could a professional plumber have fucked up? I mean, how could a professional plumber fuck up as simple as a tub drain? But then again, we don't know if it really was the professional plumber that's on this contractor's team, as she told me up front. We have a plumber we work with. We have a plumber on our team or whatnot. No. It's not her employee, but she pays him, you know what I mean? But I told her point blank in a text, you're responsible for all of it. I hired you, not these strangers that were in my home after you, when you had told me up front it would be you and one other guy. I said, because I was excited it was going to be you working on my home because I liked you and you're a woman. And no, strangers, males in my home without me even getting to meet them up front, okay? Here alone, right? I had to come here and meet them alone. You know, and it's just the point that she deceived me from the start, okay? But in any case, I don't know, because if plumbing doesn't have to be fixed at all, don't contractors, if they have to, in people's homes, do things like drains and tub drains and sink drains and shower nozzles? I don't think it was the plumber, even though my plumber thinks it would be the plumber. I think it was her men. I think it was her employees and not the plumber that's not her employee that she has to pay separate. But I don't know. How could a professional plumber fuck something like that up? That's what gets me. He changed the plumbing around, but my plumber thinks... Oh, and then Churchwoman talked to her own plumber that she knows, thinks that things were put in upside down. My plumber had never heard of my contractor's excuse for tub water coming out at the same time. You have just the tub running, and it comes out not a ton, but enough from the shower head. And my plumber never heard of that happening, and he'd never heard of it excuse being air going through it. It's bullshit. He said, no, it's bullshit. They fucked up something during the installation and didn't bother to make sure it all worked correctly, and it was her responsibility in the end because I hired her, not them. See? Her responsibility to make sure everything was working properly before you sent my mom home from that fucking hotel that was booked for 2 months. Okay? The insurance company could pay up to 6 months. You shouldn't have sent us home until everything was perfect, and you should have checked it all. You fucked up. And then she's trying to tell my mom, because I don't want to talk to her, she's trying to tell my mom, nothing wrong with that closet. Yes, there is. Yes, there is, but I'm not talking to you to come here in person. I have a right to not talk to you. I don't want to get to an argument with you and have to argue with you and whatnot over the phone. You know, I want to talk to you in person. And Churchwoman said when they come to fix stuff, because I also said, I hope you'll have consideration for me, and I don't want you and whoever fucked this up to come together and gang up on me. Just come alone and we can talk, and then we could set up another time for you to fix all the shit. Maybe the plumber fucked up changing all the pipes around. This might be serious. You get it? This could be serious, and it should have all been beautiful and taken care of while my mom and I were booked for that hotel for, you know, for 2 whole months. Right? They booked us for 2 months. The contractor sends us home and doesn't check over her guy's work. I mean, even the bathroom sink is leaking. Scary, you know. But in the end, of course, Kurt's right. We have recourse. your final recourse is to sue, like my Joe had to do with those assholes, those motherfucking, I don't know. Joe thought they might even have ties to mafia or criminal. I don't know. He was threatened when he got a lawyer, you know, very subtly threatened, but he's not going to back down. My Joe is not going to back down. And he doesn't fear death, and he doesn't believe this is the end, and he doesn't believe in heaven and hell. And, you know, one time this woman was being harassed by this asshole who didn't know her. He was harassing her at a bank ATM, and Joe came to her defense. He's like, that guy could have pulled a gun or a knife on me and killed me, Laura. I didn't care. I'm not going to let any guy fuck with a woman, you know. And she was appreciative. But my Joe doesn't play around. He's not some big tough guy, but he doesn't play around. And he wasn't going to be intimidated by this motherfucker. But then in the end, he lost, and he shouldn't have lost. It was all rigged. Court system, everything where he lives. I'm not going to tell you where he lives, but not right. It was a no-brainer to me. If you have, his lawyer had someone come out there and say, yes, this person did your driveway, fucked up to the tune of like over $4,000, but you asked for more than that. Pain and suffering, all the aggravation you have to go through. This has caused me tons and tons of stress. You understand? I can't take it. Can't take it. Even the sink drain, like, I hadn't discovered that. I probably wouldn't have discovered it. I wouldn't have even, you know, I don't really look under there, and I'd have to really look carefully, but he wanted to make sure he checked everything for me. He's like, you sink, no, don't add that to the list, please. I love you to death. Please don't add that my sink is leaking. These are professionals. My longtime friend plumber, they can't have fucked up this badly. Please don't tell me this. It's like, Laura, I said to him, I go, you sure it's not something I did, that I didn't put something wet under there? He's like, no, Laura, it's leaking, look. Because wet down, I had put some soap things under there. Maybe I did it. He's like, no, the pipes are leaking. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Why? He's like, it could be, you know, he thinks it could be something as simple as they didn't see it. But the thing is, there's no excuse for any of it. Kurt, if you're watching this, my plumber, thank God he came over. He answered all my questions. He eased my fears. They didn't do anything wrong. There are supposed to be gaps in those 4-piece contraptions, but setting that aside, I would have never chosen something like this if it was me just paying with a home equity loan. My mom paid to do all this over again. Like before all this shit went down with the burst pipe, Joe had said the best thing you can do to increase the value of your home, he recently did with his bathroom, is to do over your bathroom, you know. But I would never in a million years choose one of these shitty contraptions. I never knew they existed. They came into my awareness just last week. I mean, was it just last week? How long have we been? I mean, not that long ago. My mom's going to be seeing her primary care physician soon for her 3-month follow-up, and so much shit has gone down since then, including her moving back in here, and just we've been under so much stress, and you know, it just never ends. And you know, but I go to her with her appointments, and I set him straight, and I'm able to articulate and quickly, because he's always, you know, he's always like, boom, 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 this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened, you know. Nearly 3 weeks in a hotel. We were supposed to come home to this beautiful new bathroom and no problems. And instead we came home to a nightmare. Beginning with the lack of communication, why there was a grab bar up on our bathroom wall and not in the fucking stall, the fucking brand new thing itself, that I don't even know if you could put a grab bar up there, and that's why you put it on the wall. And I was enraged because that was the single most important thing, that we have a grab bar. My mom needs a grab bar there, and I like having it. Ever since I broke my foot, I just like having it as a safety thing, you know. But my mom needs it. And it was there before, and you put it back. Actually, there were 2 there before, you know. I didn't even make you put 2 in your bed. And look at all these problems that you know, unreal. And I'm alone own handling this, and I don't want to be ganged up on or her making excuses and coming to the defense of these people. Admit it. Own up to it. You fucked up. They fucked up, which blows my mind, but you fucked up in not checking over their work before sending me and my mom home when we were booked for months. Not that we wanted to stay for months, but we would have preferred it. I came home, there was barely any stress in that hotel. The worst stress was just worrying about Omar, okay? And then he might jump down off the bed the wrong way and hit the wall, or, you know, you go bathroom on the rug. That's it. Here, I came home to endless stress, and the place is a mess, and I haven't had a chance to breathe and a chance to clean it. And Omar, you gotta watch out for him all the time. My mom got that big bag of paper towels so I could reuse the paper towels because they're not dirty. I use a paper towel just to dry my face, dry my hands. We can reuse those, you know. Save money. Save wasting of paper towels. But we had it on the floor. What do you think Omar did? He got into it and was eating the paper towels. Gonna watch him like a hawk. Kurt, I have to laugh at this. It's ridiculous. Even the sink is leaking, which I didn't know and wouldn't have known. It's worth paying $100 for an hour for my plumber to come here and talk to me, and so I'm armed with knowledge, like I told her in a text. My personal plumber is coming here, our family plumber, to answer all my questions and closely examine the work your beloved employees, your right-hand men, did, and arm me with knowledge so you can't bullshit me, you know. This is unreal, Kurt. Sad thing is, I'd even joked with her, because I liked her a lot, about, you know, how you, because I did never imagine it would happen with her, you know, how you, my nightmares with my mom's incompetent friend doing the railing and botching the job and never even finishing it because he got out of it. She winds up in the hospital. That's his excuse to not finish the job and fuck us over, even though I asked him, can you come without your family, without us cooking you a really nice meal, all of you, and just come and finish this? You're 2/3 done. Sorry, I can't do it. I'm busy. What an asshole. I feel so bad for my mom because she's so sweet and she has people that just, she thinks are friends, but are really just users. And then the guy from church, in the name of Jesus and God, God wants him to do labor for free for church people, and I fall into that category because it's my mom's home, and I had smashed my, you know, very few of you know that I was so angry over, I broke my door. I had slammed it too many times anyway, and then I don't think I actually put my hand through it. I smashed it though, and I smashed it when, unfortunately, I believe, if I remember correctly, my mom's, at the time, is a different one now, but her DMH worker was coming over that day, and the last thing I would want is for her to see that my broken door, because it kind of came off of the hinges and whatnot, okay? And so we kind of finagled it, and I put boxes out there to block it so you couldn't tell that I'd broken it. In a fit of rage. Shows you how flimsy the door was, because I'm not that strong, you know. I'm not like guys you can see in movies and TV or in real life who put their hands, punch through walls. Although that African-American woman who I regrettably became friends with and trusted, because again, I didn't think she was popular and I didn't expect her to like me. Especially, there's nothing, I mean, we were both, I had nothing to offer her except my friendship. Not so you can't say she was using me for my money, but then when I got out and was living here and did have money, then she was using me for whatever. She put her fucking hand, punched through, you know, into the bathroom door and wound up in the hospital, and having people had to help her make her bed and stuff. Yeah, that should have been a warning sign for me to stay away from her, but, you know, it wasn't. I didn't hurt myself when I broke my door, but I definitely hurt the door. point being, I told this contractor those stories and how you hear horror stories about contractors and this, that, whatever. Remember when the whole grab bar misunderstanding, I never imagined all the other future stuff that would happen. And now, like I hadn't taken a shower. The church woman had come over right after we had, just a few days after we had got back on that, you know. And she saw that nozzle thing, that the water comes, you know, into the tub, where the water comes out, whatever you call that. You call it a nozzle? I don't know what you call it. I know tub drain. I know shower head. Is that a nozzle? Whatever it is. Faucet. Tub faucet. Okay, tub faucet wasn't flush against the back of the wall. And my contractor was nonchalant about that, too. I mean, she came over and put the silicone sealant everywhere, but she said they're not supposed to do that, and she's doing it as a favor because she likes me. But church woman said no. She talked to Lowe's, and they are supposed to put it, the sealant everywhere. So I don't know who to believe and whatnot, you know. It's annoying. But in any case, sealant or not, it was like this much out from the wall, and she noticed it instantly. She's like, that's not supposed to be out like from the wall like that. It's supposed to be flush just like all the other things, just like the thing that you turn back and forth, the water for the shower and whatever. And she's right, and I had noticed it too and didn't understand how it can even be like that. How was it out from the wall? If it's glued to the wall, it doesn't make sense. And then my contractor says, well, that's just a covering over the pipe. Yeah, but the pipe goes into the wall, and the pipe doesn't take up the wall. This hole, and water will get into the wall, you know. So church woman was upset about that, and she said, don't even take a shower. And I didn't even want to take a shower or do anything until this was all, I just wanted it over with. I wanted the grab bar and over with, but then when I finally take the showers, when I see these gaps in front of me that I'd never seen in my life anywhere, and I think it's a total fuck up, and it turns out it's technically not exactly a fuck up. I think that gap in the back that I was looking at while I was, you know, standing looking at it is definitely, it's too big. It's not even within their standards of the 1/8 of an inch. You know, it's not right. None of this is right. We weren't communicated. My father was like, they didn't tell you. I can't believe they did not tell you what kind of tub they were that they were replacing your all one thing with this. They didn't communicate anything. He's like, that's her biggest, you know, problem. She didn't communicate with you, Laura. I'm like, I know. Not right. And he agreed. Unless she got your permission, she can't just dig up your runners and put something flat there and put these little stupid ugly contraptions that stand out, that noticeable, number one, and as we've seen, they don't work any better anyway. He was trying to open this because he wants to get over and to check out the hot water heater, you know, try to figure out why we can't take more than a 15-minute shower without it turning cold on us. And you know, it's like what the fuck? How dare you take my runners up and Kurt, no, they're thrown away or they're whatever. I'm not responsible to install them. They're gone. They could have, I know based on what she told me, they could have definitely argued, you know, justified putting the runners back, and if they couldn't get my closet doors to work, on the insurance's dime, and they didn't bother doing it. See? It's not right. So now I'm going to force them to do it, and if they don't, I don't care if she does all the other stuff, you don't fix my closet, I'm going to report you. If that's my only recourse, I will report you. You're already not going to get a good review from me. Oh. You fucking better. You had no right. The runners were there before, you put them back down. I guess runners come in 2 pieces, right? Because just like this has to be in pieces, right? They didn't remove our wall, so this thing that they put down has to go up to the end of the wall and the end of the wall, and then that way, right? Going this way and that way. They didn't, but maybe when the house was originally built, the runner was under the wall. It doesn't matter. You get me 2 runners. I don't care what you do. Get the runners back. Your contraptions suck, and they don't work any better than my runners, and you're responsible to put the runners back in case I want to hire a professional to fix my closet doors. Because I'm sick of my closet doors being like this, and I had falsely believed that you were going to, on the insurance's dime, justifiably, do what you had to and get them to work, not finagle it cheaply. Like me and the plumber sarcastically said, yeah. they want to get extra money from the insurance company and make sure they got all their, you know, to get paid and whatnot, but then they're going to cut corners and go cheap with something like me because they want it, you know what I mean? They don't want to be arguing with the insurance company who didn't even remotely approve for enough up front anyway, see? That's what it's all about. So they're going to cut corners on my closet, and then that's not right. Not right. Church woman said, because she knows, she offered to be here when she's like, but not, she won't be on the initial one. I have to face the contractor and be like, church was like, you just say, you know, you don't even say, look, this was here before, you need to put it back, and that's it. And you don't want to threaten, but, you know, if you don't do what you are required to do, then I'm going to have to, I'll take other action, I'll report you, I'll whatever. If that's my only recourse, I'll at least do that. But I don't want to have to, you understand? I don't want any of this happening. It's too much for me. I can't deal with it. So I will end with this, okay? Oh, and on top of everything else, you know I'm sleeping on the couch because I have to keep Omar safe, and this is just such chaos and so overwhelming, and I can't even breathe, okay? Can't even breathe. Can't locate important cards, like medical cards. Don't know what I did with them. For my mom, I had them safe, and for me, and you know, it's just like, have to constantly be vigilant. You can't leave Omar alone for a second. You think he's sleeping on the couch like I thought the other day, and I ran in here to do something. I came back out and he was eating the stuff that's down on the floor. My mom fell a few days ago over her own shoes, whatever. She had them there, and she's trying to get to the small couch, and she knows all the crap's there, so if you know it's there, look down, you know. But that was scary. I heard the thud, and you know what I mean? She had her shoes in the middle, and then she's trying to get to her phone on the coffee table, on the little end table. I'm like, Mom, you know all this crap's here. You know, if you can't keep yourself safe, then you have a TV in your bedroom. Don't be in the living room until I can take care of all of this. I'm doing the best I can. I didn't expect. I was supposed to get to come home to my beautiful new bathroom, and be happy and not be under all this nightmare stress, and then focus on getting this place clean, because I can't stand it. You know, it's awful. It's awful for me, for Mom, for Omar. I mean, but how have I been able to do that? I don't even sleep. I'm so upset about this contracting nightmare. Now we found at the top that the sink is leaking. On top of everything else, the sink's leaking. Like, what the fuck? You're supposed to be professionals. You don't... These are things that just shouldn't be happening. They're not, you know what I mean? They're like... So here we go, and then I'll end this. To contractor. Last time I was upset, remember when I first came home in the grab bar misunderstanding, okay? But it was her fault, and she admitted it's her fault. I'm like, you didn't tell me. Well, I thought you know me. I don't know you for shit. You know I wouldn't just not put it up in your shower, but you didn't put it up in my shower, and you didn't even know you guys hadn't done it. You should have been hands-on. You should have checked, you know. Don't make as an afterthought oh, I didn't see him in the picture. I don't know if they put it. Don't make as an afterthought something I told you was of the utmost importance before I even hired you, okay? Grab bar. When you came and looked at this stuff, we need a grab bar when you put the new thing, okay? So, last time I was upset, it was thankfully over a misunderstanding. Name of contractor. But this time, that is not even remotely the case. I really hope you will both do the right thing by my mother and me and be upfront. It's interesting when you use both in that context, because it could be, I really hope you will both do the right thing, and say it was two people. I really hope you will both do the right thing, like you and X person will do the right thing. That's not what I mean. I mean, I really hope that you will not only do the right thing by my mother and me, but also be upfront and completely honest. But I said, I really hope you will both, you guys will understand, will both do the right thing by my mother and me. That's the first thing I hope you'll do, both do the right thing by my mother and me, and be upfront and completely honest about what went wrong and why. Just like if you were in a relationship and you were saying, I really hope my lover will both, I don't know, respect me and pamper me, or both respect me as a woman and fuck the shit. You know what I mean? It's like, but that's how I mean. Like, be nice.